I have been asked by many people how to set up the rubric to grade assignments on Moodle, which uses the Moodle platform. So here I have an example of an assignment I have given to the students, which I haven't graded yet, and I'm going to show you how you're going to set up the rubric. Okay, so just click on the assignment that you have given. Now the rubric can be done before the assignment is given or even after the assignment has been given and all the students have submitted their work. So what you need to do is, after clicking the assignment, go to administration and find advanced grading. Click on that, and then you will have options on the different grading methods you can use. You have marking guide, rubric, and simple direct grading. So you choose rubric, and if you've never defined a rubric before for this particular assignment, then you start off with define new grading form from scratch. So just click on that. So I'm going to give a name for this rubric. I'm going to call it activity 9.3 rubric. Okay, and then this is where you are going to set up the criteria for your grading. So let's say for this particular activity, the things I want to look at is whether they have correctly created the user-defined function. So maybe the first thing is whether there is a declaration of the user-defined function, and if there's none, they get 0 points. If there is, they'll get 1 point. So you can put as many grading levels as you want, and you can even change the point. It doesn't have to be incremented by 1. You can make it like 5 or any points that you want. So in this case, I'm just going to give 1 point for this particular criterion, and I only have these 2 choices, so I can remove the third choice. Right, so that's my first criterion. So let's add some more criterion for this rubric. Let's say I also want to make sure that the definition of the user-defined function is correct. So let's say they have no definition at all, so then they get 0 points. Let's say another criterion is another level of grading is, let's say I want to give them just partial marks. So let's start off with full marks first. Let's say they get full marks if they use the correct input argument in degrees. Okay, but if they give the wrong input argument in radians, then they get just 1 mark in radians. Okay. So you keep on putting in your criterion. What else? Let's say I want it to be, okay, function call. So let's say function is not called in main, and function is called in main. And let's say I give 2 points for this, so I can just put 2 points here, and that's it. So this is my my rubric. Okay, so we have different options. So usually I don't allow the users to preview the rubric, because most of the time I do the rubric after grading anyway. After they have submitted, so they can only see after grading. I want to display the rubric description while I am grading, so I will have that checked. I also want the students to see the description once they get the results, so I also check this option. I also want for each level the points are displayed to me as the grader as well as to the students, so that they know what points they get for each criterion. I also like the option of having the text remarks, because I can put comments there on why they didn't receive full marks and things like that. And I would like the remarks to be shown to my students so that they know where they did wrong. So if you're happy with your rubric, then you can just save it and make it ready. Okay, so this is my rubric. The total number of points is 5. So now if I want to use it, I just go back to the assignment and I can start grading. Now, one thing I like about the assignment if it's submitted on uLearn is you can also choose, you can filter out first, like for example, only for students who submitted. Okay, and another option I like is if, let's say, you started grading and then you take a break, okay, and then you want to continue grading, instead of showing all the students that have submitted, you just need to filter out to show only the work that requires grading. So I will choose that, because at the moment I have 52 works that need to be graded, so that's why I have 1 of 52, even though there are 53 students in my class. I usually remove this option to notify the students, because what happens is once you start grading, if you save the changes, then the students are immediately notified that you have graded that particular work. And I like to leave this option unchecked, because I only want them to be notified. Actually, they won't be notified at all. I only want them to see the grades after I finish marking everybody. And besides, it gives me the option of, let's say I start marking student 1, and then I realize maybe I have to change the rubric a bit, so I can change the rubric and then regrade again without notifying the students for every single change I make. So when you want to grade, in this case, because I'm grading a C program, so they have submitted a C file, so I have to open that separately. So once I check their assignment, then what I do is I just give the points according to my rubric, and then I can give some feedback comments, like for example, for the second criterion, you should have used degrees as your input argument, for example. That's the comment I want to give back to the student. I can put it in there and the students can see the feedback. And then you save, and then it's graded. But once it's saved, you can still come back and change it if you want. So you can change it to this and then save it again. So you have a new grade for that. So that's how you set up and use the rubric.